Hi there, thanks for tuning in. My name is Sanne and I'm a qualified nutritionist working from private practice Coast Nutrition in Stamford Bay. Because at the moment so many people seem to be in search of how to bolster their immune system, I thought it might be useful to talk about a few practical ways on how to support our immune system. But the first thing I'd like to stress is that no diet, supplement, or lifestyle will prevent infection. The only way to prevent infection is to avoid contact with the virus or bacteria. But your nutritional status and lifestyle choices before infection largely determines the outcome and recovery speeds. Our immune system is very complex with many different types of immune cells, chemicals, substances, and tissues involved. And all these different defense mechanisms need to be well balanced to be able to respond in a way that protects our bodies. We do not want to boost our immune system in a certain direction from time to time because a hyperactive or misdirected immune response can cause more harm than it does good, making us more susceptible to other types of infections and disease. So what we do want is to support our immune system so that it is well balanced and works effectively. There are many factors in our environment that influence our immune system, and today I'd like to talk about four main ones and give you some tactics on how to make improvements in these areas. The first one is stress, sleep, exercise, and of course, nutrition. And these areas affect each other as well. You can imagine that when you're stressed, you may not sleep very well, but when you're tired, this also affects food choices and your motivation to exercise, what again affects the others as well. So let's talk about the first one, stress. Biologically, stress is a mechanism that makes us alert and able to either fight or flight to get out of danger. It used to be very important for survival, but these days the predators and famine have made place for other everyday stressors, like having to juggle work and family life, finances, or worries about being a good friend, for example. And these type of stressors are not short-lived. They are there every day, the whole day, so that often we do not even notice anymore how stressed we really are. And this constant low-level stress often results in a constant feeling of being rushed, or you're being snappy to your loved ones, and even physiologically you can get problems. For example, you may experience problems with your bowel movements, or inflammatory conditions like eczema in adults are also strongly linked to stress. So what can we do? Relax, that is easier said than done. But my number one tip is deep breathing, where you expand your tummy and slowly exhale. Because this signals immediately to every cell in your body that you're safe and can relax. And it's important to do this throughout the day. And an easy way to remember to breathe deeply is by coupling it to an activity that you often do, like filling your cup with water or washing your hands. Secondly, I recommend to look at your caffeine intake. Caffeine is found in coffee, colas, tea, chocolate, and some energy drinks. Caffeine immediately raises our stress hormones, and if we drink it throughout the day, our bodies and minds do not get a chance to truly relax. Electronic distractions can be a big one too. And with that, I mean all the notifications that you receive on your phone and your computer, what constantly ask us to jump into alert mode and diverts our attention. So have a look at the number and type of notifications you receive and think how you'd like to handle them. For some, you may want to set aside a specific time in the day to deal with them, or you may find that you'd like to inactivate or unsubscribe from them altogether. For example, some newsletters that you never read. Exercising has been shown to reduce stress, or maybe you can think of other activities that calm you down. For example, crafts projects, dancing, or playing with your pet. You can also make a routine, like every day writing down 3 things you're grateful for, or write a positive ABC, where you think of a positive word for every letter in the alphabet. And doing something outside also works very well, as it is in our nature to feel calm in a green environment or near water. So have a brainstorm what you think would work well for you and plan those activities on a regular basis. And then we have, of course, sleep, both quantity as quality. And that's a big one. So I'd like to talk a bit more about sleep on its own. Getting enough quality sleep is very important for the immune system. Somewhere between 6 to 9 hours per night for adults seems to be the sweet spot. Now, if you feel like you constantly need much more than that, there may be some other underlying health conditions that need to be dealt with. So how can we improve both sleep quantity and quality? Well, the first most obvious thing to do is look at your bed and bedroom and see whether your mattress, pillow, and duvet or blanket is comfortable, and whether your bedroom is a nice, calm place suitable to sleep. Have a look at how much light your bedroom is, because even the smallest amount of light coming from a little device light can disturb our sleep. So you may want to consider blackout curtains, wearing an eye mask, or removing all your devices from your bedroom. Also, the blue light coming from screens prevents our sleep hormone to surge. So an idea can be to turn the blue light filter on your devices, or don't use screens and bright lights about 2 hours before you're going to bed. Instead, it can be beneficial to implement another relaxing bed ritual. Diet also influences our sleep. We often think that alcohol gives us a good night's sleep, but the opposite is true. And this also counts for the typical Western diet that is low in fiber, high in refined sugar, and high in not so healthy fats. And this can be a vicious cycle, because when you do not get enough good quality sleep, you may not feel energetic enough to make yourself a healthy meal, and you may be more drawn to these high energy but not very nutritious foods. Now, if you'd like to do something about your sleep, I recommend to have a look at this link on this slide. It is a module that helps you uncover what your personal barriers to good sleep are, and it gives some very practical recommendations in your personal situation. Exercise improves immune defense activity and regulation. Regular exercise delays the onset of age-related dysfunction, and the good news is that with exercise, it's never too late to begin, because people who start exercising in midlife have the same protection against mortality as people that have always worked out. The bad news is that the reverse is true as well. If you stop exercising in midlife, all the benefits evaporate. Now, all types of exercise are beneficial, although endurance athletes are more prone to upper respiratory infections. But for the general population, we can say all types of exercise is beneficial. However, I'd like to stress the importance of maintaining good muscle mass here. An important nutrient used by certain immune cells is stored in our muscles. And around the age of 30, our muscle mass naturally declines if we do not actively maintain it through resistance exercise. Now, if you haven't done that for a very long time, or you feel very weak or have an injury, start easy and slowly with what you can do. For example, maybe you can work on your core muscles through yoga poses, or lift some weights in sitting position, or work on your legs by walking a flight of stairs, or getting up from your chair an X number of times. And 30 minutes of strenuous exercise twice a week is already enough for positive results. When we're talking about nutrition, there are a few key nutrients beneficial for a well-functioning immune system. But when we're talking about these nutrients, we have to realize that both deficiencies as imbalances in nutrients can impair our immune system. So high doses from supplements may actually damage your health unless there is a shown deficiency or depletion, and you're not able to get enough through diet alone to replenish your body stores. Or you have a disease or condition that requires you to have a higher intake of a specific nutrient. But generally speaking, all key nutrients important for a well-functioning immune system can be obtained through a good and varied diet. So what are these key nutrients? Vitamin C is the most well-known and popular vitamin when it comes to supporting our immune system. And we find that in vegetables and fruit, especially citrus fruit. Vitamin A, this vitamin is stored in our fat reserves, and it's recommended to take this in via carotenoids from plant sources, mainly the yellow and orange colored vegetables like pumpkin and carrots, But also dark green leafy vegetables like spinach contain this. Vitamin E, mainly found in nuts, seeds, avocado, but also dark green leafy vegetables. And vitamin D plays an important role. And for people that regularly are outside, diet is not the main source of it because more than 90% our body makes itself under influence from sunlight. So this is another good reason to be outside every day. But remember, you should never get sunburns. Selenium is found in seafood and Brazil nuts. In fact, Brazil nuts are so concentrated salts that it is recommended to not have more than 2 a day. That's how powerful it can be. Iron and zinc is, for example, found in meat, nuts, and seeds. And glutamine, that's that nutrient I was talking about before that is stored in our muscles. And it's mainly found in high protein sources. And a good balance of omega-3 to omega-6 oils in our diet is important. Our typical Western diet does not have enough omega-3s. And the easiest way to get more omega-3 oil in is by eating oily fish so now and then. For example, salmon, tuna, mackerel, and sardines. Now, there are also other things in our diet that play a role, like flavonoids and probiotics are getting a lot of attention. But if you're keen on using a probiotic, make sure that the strain of bacteria in your supplement has been clinically proven to give the effect that you're after, because different strains do different things. And of course, it is also important to feed the beneficial bacteria that you already have in your gut with prebiotics. And this comes from example, the fiber in vegetables. So how should we be eating in a way that supports our immune system? I already mentioned the negative effect of a diet low in fiber, high in refined sugar, and high in less healthy fats. Instead, imagine that you have a basket of food for the day. Then this basket should be half filled with colorful fruit and vegetables. A quarter with good quality proteins like eggs, oily fish, nuts and seeds, poultry, legumes, and some lean red meat and dairy. And the remaining quarter should be filled with complex carbohydrate starchy foods like potatoes, taro, pumpkin, brown rice, and other whole grains like brown bread. And try to vary every day of what you eat from these food groups. Now, if this doesn't look anything like what you're currently eating, this may feel a bit overwhelming. But before you say you don't want to cook that often or it will take up too much time to cook like this, try to focus on one meal at a time. For example, start with eating according to these ratios for dinner. Then make extra so that you've got leftovers for lunch the next day. And this way you're already getting 2 meals in a day, like this concept, without too much more effort. Then you can start by swapping biscuits or slices for afternoon tea for a piece of fruit, handful of nuts, or vegetable sticks. Or maybe you think of focusing first on lowering caffeine intake. Then you can start with swapping some of your coffees for herbal infusions. And so you can slowly and step by step work towards eating like this. You don't have to do it all at once, but if you'd like to give it a try, remember next time when you go shopping to also fill your trolley with the foods that help you eat like this. I hope I gave you some insights and ideas to better support your immune system. If you have any questions, you can find my contact details on coastnutrition.co.nz or reach out to me on social media. Thank you very much and have a good one.